that more thing, that thing, that one. Hello, my name is Masikana and welcome to I Am Masikana TV, and this is Reading with Masikana. Please like, subscribe, comment, and if you'd like me to review any of your books, comment below. According to Wikipedia, Trevor Noah is a South African comedian, television host, producer, writer, political commentator, I said politically correct, and actor. He is the host of The Daily Show, an American satirical news program on Comedy Central. Born in Johannesburg, Noah began his career as a comedian, television host, and an actor in South Africa in 2002. His birthday is on the 20th of February 1984, and he is aged 37 years old, and he's doing good. Born a Crime by Trevor Noah was what I expected, with a little bit of not what I expected. I expected it to be funny, and it delivered on that. I expected it to be honest. It delivered on that. I expected it to be intriguing, at least engaging, and it delivered on that. However, what I didn't expect from it was it would be so informative. I learned more about apartheid from this book than I've ever learned in the classroom. In this book, he channeled it into more of a history lesson. He explained what apartheid era was and what it felt like, and while explaining, he was educating us. It wasn't more about, I was born in South Africa during apartheid and then I became a millionaire a couple years later. But it was more of, through my story, I'd like to inform you what is happening, how my beliefs in politics were shaped, or how the experiences that I went through as a young child shaped me to become the man that I am today. His mom played a very big role in his life. This whole book is essentially her story, how she came to the conclusion that she was going to make a baby, how at some point she used to dress up as a maid in Hillbrow. I just wish that at some point I got more of his story. We get the 0 to 22 version of Trevor. What I was looking for was the 25 to now version. The challenges that he faced in the industry that he's in. How did he even get into the industry that he's in? What was the catalyst? What was the mind changer? That's what I was looking for mainly, but I can understand how a lot of people would enjoy his book in terms of other aspects. Trevor Noah has a very strange fascination with fire. He got firecrackers, and he got the gunpowder out of the firecrackers, put it in the pot plant because it was trying to make the biggest explosion ever. As a result of that explosion, he lost his eyebrows, and he wanted to lie about the story, but his mother saw that he does not have eyebrows. He was your typical teenager with not really comfortable with women, not really comfortable with himself, with his look, not really comfortable with where he was or who he wanted to be. But his mom always said that which is a quote that I love personally. She said that her only duty on this earth is to feed his stomach, feed his spirit, and feed his mind. So yes, they always had food regardless of how poor they were. Yes, he always had books which shaped him to who he became today, and they always had spirituality, which was he was always at church. He went to church 4 times a day, 5 times a week, 6 times a week. Then he was coming into himself, but he was hanging around the Kasi in South Africa. There is something called Kasi. There's a vibe about the Kasi. It's like it's an energy it's a always, and in this book it's described so beautifully, but it's like an electric current. In general, if you're looking for a book to enjoy, Trevor Noah's book is enjoyable. If you're looking for an educational book about a topic, he's a very smart guy. Trevor Noah's book is educational. If you're looking for more, and I feel like I'm struggling with like explaining the more. I once had a conversation with a friend about this, and he was telling me that Trevor Noah just does what he knows to do. Being a comedian for him, it's more of, okay, I'm here, I'm doing my job, and I'm leaving. It's sometimes that there might be a slight struggle to connect, and I feel like this is what I felt about this book. I struggled to connect. I got what I needed from a good book, but I didn't have that, oh, I want to do something about it. That makes you want to reread it in the future or put it in your classics. It's just one of those, I've read it before. Trevor Noah would be the Kevin Hart of South Africa. If we can still own him, I think we own him. He's still ours, right? He's still ours. I think he's still ours. I don't know anymore, Trevor. We feel lost. Like, even in the book, it just felt like a video educating the Americans on how to handle a South African. I just want you to come back and have like a Kota with us. I mean, one story which was I found incredibly funny is when, okay, so in Kasi, it's very common for people to have 2 rooms and then large families within the room. So that was Trevor's setup. There was 2 rooms. One, it would be everybody goes to sleep there, so that would be the family, the extended family, the grandmother, and he had a grandmother who was blind, and then the mother to his mother. So they all stayed in this 2 houses. So if you are able to extend your house, maybe build another room, it's like it symbolizes how rich you actually are as a family or as a unit. It was raining, and the toilet is usually outside. We have pit toilets in some places, not everywhere. And so he's like, if he can do it in his mind, if he could do it as quietly as possible, he would get away with it. She thought Trevor was somewhere doing whatever. So she's in the kitchen, basically minding her own business, and then he sneaks in and decides that he's gonna do his business in the kitchen on a newspaper. Okay, wait. And she started hearing sounds, so she started calling out and being like, is there anybody? What's happening? Freaking out as one should. And Trevor was already like meat number 2. So he does his business, and now she can smell the business. She's upset, she's hurt. And so Trevor does his thing, and then he puts it together, and then he hides it. So she's traumatized because she can smell it, but she can't get a response from the perpetrator. Now, in African culture, there's witchcraft, and it's prevalent here. We know about it. We talk about it. We believe more in spirituality than we would believe in doctors and science. My grandmother is more likely to go pray or go to a traditional healer. When Trevor's mother came back, the grandmother's freaking out. Trevor's mother doesn't understand what is going on, and Trevor is acting very nonchalant in the corner. The grandmother explains the story, and then Trevor's mother goes in the dustbin and finds Trevor's number 2. Now, Trevor can either get the beating of his life. There's a difference between spanking and beating, and a 90s African child has gotten a beating. Back to that witchcraft thing. His mother then assumed that, oh snap, there's a whole witch that came. Because in witchcraft is if a witch comes and they're unable to accomplish their mission, they usually leave a number 2 in your house. So it's like an FU, bro. Like, they call the whole street. They come through, they take that little piece of number 2 of Trevor. Listen, they were pulling out demons from that number 2. In 1980s, right, a person that could speak English and a person that not only could speak English but was super light-skinned, or in Trevor's case, he was mixed, which would be a colored in South Africa. He was a little bit higher ranking than the African individual, because he was closest to white. So that this is during apartheid. And they had this belief that the white man's prayer gets to heaven quicker. So they had Trevor pray for his number 2 and talk to God on some, hey, like, whoever did this, please strike lightning. And everybody was trying to get him to pray and so forth. He also dealt with abuse. It was unfortunate that his mom had to deal with gender-based violence. He had to also deal with the fact that his stepdad never got arrested for it. So he dealt with those tough topics, but in a funny way, which I feel like that's what most comedians do. They go through something and they find a way to make it funny. And I think maybe that's just an escape mechanism, because, you know, if you go through something tough, you can either sit and wallow, or you could turn it into a story that's worthwhile. Gender-based violence, apartheid, poverty, those were the main topics being touched on. Education, spiritual awareness. I would rate this book a 3, 2.5, 3, just because of the part where I was disappointed that he didn't really continue with his journey. I really would look forward to a second part. I don't know if it's because I'm like comparing it in my head with another comedian's book, which I'm going to cover in the next video. Tune in for that. Like, subscribe, comment. I just felt like it was missing a little bit more Trevor. It was about everything else except Trevor. And maybe sometimes you just want to read about the person. That's why I said, like, maybe that's why I felt like there was no connection, because I wanted him to tell his struggle, but maybe his struggle was through his mother, and the book was dedicated to his mother. So I'll give it a solid 2.5, 3. It served its purpose. If that was its purpose, it served it. And I want a book 2 from Trevor, about Trevor Noah, the individual. But personally, I enjoyed the book. I don't think there's a book that I wouldn't enjoy except Dicement, but I'm still gonna finish it regardless. I would suggest it. I would recommend it. It's a great gift, but gifted to a Trevor fan or a history person fan. Gifted to those are the people that deserve this gift. For me, doesn't fall under classic. We cannot deny that he's a great comedian and he's a great teacher and he's a great storyteller. So that came out in the book. My name is Masikana, and if you enjoyed this review, please comment down below, and also like, subscribe, click on your notification button so that you can get notified every time I upload. If you'd like me to include you in my subscription list, please subscribe and tell me in the comments. As well, my subscription newsletter, weekly newsletter, please like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments. And if you'd like to find out more about me, just go on my social media platforms and then find out what I'm about, and then we can grow on this journey. The current goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers. My name is Masikana. Thank you for your time. Peace.